Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is Fajira. If you're joining me for the very first time, I'm so happy to have you all in our beautiful family. For my returning subscribers, thank you very much for always coming back to watch my videos. Thank you for sharing my videos. God bless you. If you're new to this channel, I create content on how you can migrate to the UK, jobs with visa sponsorship in the UK, UK immigration updates, live in the UK, studies in the UK, like everything you can think about the UK. So if you're someone who is interested in such content, do hit on the subscribe button, turn on the notification bell, so each time I upload a new video, you're going to be the very first person to see that video. In today's video, I'll be sharing with you the best time to apply for your visa to prevent a refusal. Recently, a lot of people have been refused their visa, which is why I thought I should share this video. Before we dive right into it, I would love to take 1 or 2 minutes of your time to introduce to you something very special, something that will help you move to the UK, settle in the UK safely. We all know how the accommodation crisis has been in the UK recently, which is why I want to share this platform with you to enable you book your accommodation on time. If you watched my previous video, I talked about accommodation, that was one of the things I regretted not booking before I moved to the UK, which is why I'm sharing this platform with you to give you an opportunity to be able to book your accommodation even before you move to the UK or any part of the world. Amber is a premier student accommodation platform with over 1 million beds in over 20,000 properties across 200 cities worldwide. You can imagine a platform with over 1 million beds. You can book accommodation in any part of the world through Amber platforms such as Australia, Canada, Germany, Ireland, Portugal, Spain, UK, USA, and many more. Which means that if you're planning to move to any of those cities to study, you can actually book your accommodation before you leave your country. Amber accommodations are always known as a home away from home. Imagine you're moving to a new city, you don't have family and friends. It is always very easy for you to settle in any of the Amber's property. Why choose Amber? Easy to search. Students can search for their homes according to their preferences and can also filter by locality and universities. Like I earlier mentioned, most of the accommodation you book on Amber platform are very close to school, like 5 minutes away from school. 1 million beds, including dorms, shared rooms, and en-suite. Amber ensures that there is a perfect accommodation for each student. Convenience. Most of Amber accommodations are usually located around the universities and city centers, and you know, if you're coming to the UK or you're going to any part of the world to study, as a student you want to live in a place that you don't have to be paying transports from one place to the other. So if you are able to book an accommodation on Amber platform, I can guarantee you that you can see accommodation within 5 minutes to your university. You can also book an accommodation located in the city center on Amber platform. For safety and securities, all Amber accommodations have got 24 hours CCTV. Like, there is nothing that is not recorded. So in case of any incident, you can always go back to check the CCTV to see anything that has happened. And for parents who are in overseas who wants to send their children abroad to study, it is always very easy and advisable to use Amber platform to book accommodation, because just in case you cannot even reach your child, you can always call the accommodation to find out if your child is back. And also, in case of any incidents, you can always go back to look at the CCTV footage, which is a very good thing. All student accommodations that you book on Amber are all bills inclusive, which means that if you're paying £150 for a week, you don't have to think of your electricity bill, you don't have to think of your gas bill, you don't have to think of your water bill. It is all bills inclusive. So which is why I advise you use Amber platform to book your student accommodation if you're moving to the UK or any part of the world. Amber has a simple student-friendly change and cancellation policy, which means that if your visa was refused due to any reasons, Amber will always refund you the accommodation you have paid for. You don't really need to go through stress to request for a refund. There are no hidden fees. When making your booking, you get an end-to-end support, which means that from the point you make your booking to the point of arrival, you will always get some support from Amber. It is fast and easy booking. It is 100% verified listing. A lot of Amber accommodations have got lots of facilities that will make your stay abroad very comfortable and easy. Just as you can see on my screen, they've got fitness center and gym that you don't have to go register for gym elsewhere, because most of the accommodations have got gym that you just have to go in and do your workouts without paying any extra fee. They've got gaming room, got parking space allocated to anyone who drives. They've also got study room, which you can always go to study, especially when you're close to your exams, or maybe you're doing your coursework, and it will even allow you to mix up with other people that may possibly be in the same department with you. They've also got swimming pools of activities that will keep your stay very comfortable. Or if you're a parent and you're thinking of sending your kids abroad to study, please use the link in the description box and in the pinned comment to book your accommodation in any part of the world. Trust me, their fee is affordable. It is also refundable. Just in case you change your mind, you will always get your full refund, and in case your visa was denied, you can always get your full refund. Thank you very much, guys, for your time. As earlier mentioned, that I'll be sharing the best time to apply for your UK visa with you in this video. I'm sharing this because recently I've had a one-to-one consultation with people that their visas have been refused, more than those that are yet to apply for their visas. Now, I'm doing this based on my own analysis and from other findings as well, from employers and so on. So now, if you're planning to move to the UK and you have not applied for your visa, guys, I would advise that you go through every requirement of the visa and also discuss with your employer. I'm saying this because a lot of people had gone to apply for their visas recently without even going through the process with their employer to find out what needs to be done before their visa application, which have led to their refusal. And once your visa is refused, you will have to pay another fee to apply for a new visa. Also, you will need a new certificate of sponsorship to apply for a new visa. So recently, like I earlier mentioned, that from my one-to-one consultation with a lot of people who have booked that consultation, and from my analysis, I found out that a lot of people that applied for their visas between the end of March and I think about May had the highest level of refusals. And I'm going to tell you why this has happened. Most of these visas were refused because of their COSs. They've issued a COS, but they have not updated the required salary that can allow them to apply for visas from overseas. Like we all know that the UK has a standard that every year between the 31st of March, 1st of April, a lot of law changes and a lot of things are put in place, and that is when the minimum wage is always reviewed. So if the UK government have reviewed the minimum wage around that time and employers have not been able to update their system, then they issue you a certificate of sponsorship that is still carrying the previous year, which is, let's say, the previous tax year. You have those information on your COS. That's a straight refusal. Now, I had shared a video on what an employer can do, which I also mentioned that if you're applying for a visa, always cross-check with your employer. What an employer can do in a situation like this is always to add a sponsor note to the COS. But a lot of care owners are employers that are not really conversant with computer, or maybe some of them are not using admin, like I've come across with a lot that don't even know how to even issue COSs. I've come across a few of them like that. So if you are able to get a job in such organization, and for instance, the employer, maybe an old person or someone who is not conversant with a computer to know what to do, and the person issues you a COS because they have not been updated. Like the government has passed a law that moving forward, if you're coming to the UK to work as a care worker, you have to earn a minimum of £10.75, and now this employer has got the previous one, which was £10.10 in the previous tax year, but now it is now £10.75. Now they issue you a COS, and the COS is bearing £10.10, and if you don't know about it, to let the employer know that this has been increased, you will go for your visa and your visa will be refused. So now if you're applying for a visa, I think the best time to apply for your visa should be around maybe towards the end of May, because these employers would have been updated, in my opinion, and also based on experience, because these employers would have been updated with the recent salary you need to earn to be able to apply for a UK visa. This employer would have been updated by that time. If you're submitting your visa application anytime from the end of March, April, May, always go back to your employer to see if they can add a sponsor note, because you have your own role to play. Not only them, like I said, most of these employers do not really know a lot when it comes to internet, when it comes to using of computer, being updated on every information about the government website. They don't really know much. I've come across a lot of them like that. So when your visa is refused based on the salary, I would say, yeah, it's from the employer. The employer has not put in the real salary for the new tax year. And like I said, you also have your role to play by also checking with your employer once your COS is out to find out if the salary that is on your COS meets the required salary to be able to apply for a care worker visa or a skilled worker visa. So this is based on my own experience, because between the months of March, April, May, this is when the laws are being passed, and a lot of care owners have not gotten the information, or they've not updated their system, and they just issue the COS, and you now going to apply for a visa that time, you definitely get a refusal. So if you're planning to move to the UK as a skilled worker or as a health and care worker, I know we are not in April, May or March, we are now in June. Still try to cross-check your minimum salary. Try to cross-check what the employer has put on your certificate of sponsorship, and if it is less than £10.75, please get back to your employer and ask them to update the certificate of sponsorship by adding a sponsor's note. I had mentioned this previously in my video, and I said that any mistake that is made on your certificate of sponsorship, once the employer adds a sponsor note, it covers it, because the Home Office honors that. If you have applied for your visa and your visa is not out, you're still waiting, please check your COS and see the minimum salary. If it's not up to the minimum required salary to apply for your visa, please contact your employer. Once you contact your employer, ask them to add a sponsor note to the portal, because the Home Office have a direct access to that. So even if what is on the COS you've used to apply is different from what is on the portal, because the employer has updated the salary on the portal, the Home Office will definitely honor that. This is not to say don't apply for a visa within March, April and May, but this is to say when applying for your visa within that season, or maybe if your visa have been applied during that time and is still pending, this is to say cross-check all the information, the required salary, use the government website. I'll definitely leave the link in the description box below to check for yourself, and also update your employer just in case your employer is not aware. Like I said, a lot of employers do not even know. It takes a longer time for them to be aware that the salary has been updated, and if your COS has been issued by that time, then you've gotten a refusal already. You have applied for your visa within this period and it's still pending till now. Go back and check your COS and ensure that the salary means the required salary to be eligible to apply for a visa. If not, your visa will be refused. If it meets the minimum salary and you're still waiting for your visa, then it's fine. But if it does not meet the minimum salary and your visa is still pending, contact your employer immediately. Contact your employer immediately to add a sponsor note to your COS, so that if they are about to approve your visa, they can see that the employer knows what he or she is doing. A sponsor note has been added and your visa will not be refused. So guys, this is just what it is. I hope you find this video helpful. Do like and share with your friends and loved ones, and if you're yet to join our beautiful family, do hit on the subscribe button, turn on the notification bell, so each time I upload a new video, you're definitely going to be the very first person to see that video. Until I see you in my next video, guys, do take care and have a lovely day. Bye bye for now.